You know when you see that perfect handcrafted thing in a store and you just wonder, how did it even get here? I mean, from some tiny workshop somewhere to your house thousands of miles away. It's an incredible story. So let's get into it.
So at the heart of all this, you've basically got two totally different worlds colliding, right? On one hand, there's the artisan's workshop. Everything is unique, steeped in tradition. And then bam, you've got the global retailer. They need like 10,000 of the exact same thing, perfect quality, and they need it yesterday. I mean, how do those two things even exist on the same planet?
Yeah, that gap, it's not just a gap, it's a huge divide. It's packed with all these challenges that honestly feel pretty much impossible. It's kind of like that classic unstoppable force meeting an immovable object. Okay, so the first big question is just production. How on earth do you take a one-of-a-kind, totally personal craft and then make 10,000 of them? And the real kicker is, how do you do that without losing the very soul of what made it so special to begin with? And then, just to make things interesting, you throw in distance. We're talking 8,000 miles away. Suddenly, quality control becomes this insane logistical nightmare. I mean, really, how can you be sure that item number 10,000 is just as perfect as item number 1 when you're literally on the other side of the world?
But you know what might be the biggest hurdle of all? Communication. And I'm not just talking about language barriers. It's about culture. It's about time zones. How do you translate a design idea or a tight deadline across totally different ways of working? It's so easy for the most important stuff to get, well, lost in translation.
So you see, it's not just one thing. This divide is built out of all these massive, very real barriers. You've got the cultural and language gaps, the puzzle of scaling a handmade process, the logistical nightmares, keeping quality consistent. Oh, and on top of all that, you have to meet today's ethical standards. It's a lot. You need something really special to connect those two worlds.
So how do you actually build that bridge? Well, it doesn't start with spreadsheets or shipping containers. It starts with something way more human. It starts by becoming a translator of both culture and of craft. And this quote really nails it. It's about so much more than just speaking different languages. Real success, the kind that lasts, comes from a deep, genuine appreciation for the values, the traditions, the different ways of working. It's all about respecting the craft. This is where that translation work really comes to life. Think about it. You're taking these incredible ancient skills, things like Vietnamese lacquer work or Chinese bamboo weaving, and you're connecting them to what Western buyers absolutely need. Things like sustainability, total transparency, on-time delivery, and perfect quality. That's the bridge. It lives right in that space between those two sets of expectations. Okay, so let's get down to brass tacks. How does this whole cultural understanding thing actually turn into a real product you can sell? Well, there's a pretty clear path, and it has 4 main steps. First, you have to identify and really respect the core artisan technique. Then, you work together to adapt that process so you can make a lot of them consistently, but without killing what makes it special. Step 3 is crucial. You've got to invest in training and support for the artisans. And finally, you build modern quality control right into the process from the very beginning. It can't be an afterthought. And hey, remember that whole communication nightmare we talked about? This is where technology steps in and becomes the ultimate translator. We're talking about using things like 3D designs so everyone sees the same vision, getting real-time video updates straight from the workshop, even using project management systems so everybody is literally on the same page. It just cuts through all the confusion.
So, there you have it. That's what we're talking about when we say the bridge. It's so much more than just a supply chain. It's a living, breathing connector, part cultural, part operational. And its whole reason for being is to take that amazing local craftsmanship and translate it into a product that's ready for the world. And you start to see this awesome pattern, right? You take a modern need, say luxury accessories, or that clean Scandinavian look, and you fuse it with a timeless artisan skill, like Vietnamese lacquer or ceramics. The result is always this incredible fusion, something totally new that neither world could have possibly created alone. But here's the thing. This bridge, for it to really work, for it to be something we can be proud of, it can't just be about making cool stuff and turning a profit. It has to be built on something stronger. It has to be about manufacturing with a conscience. And what does that mean exactly? Well, it boils down to a few core commitments that are completely non-negotiable. We're talking fair labor practices for every artisan, safe working conditions, and a real respect for the environment every step of the way.
And when you do it this way, the right way, the impact is just huge. It goes way beyond just making a beautiful product. It creates these 3 massive, lasting benefits that ripple out and make the whole system stronger.
So why should you care about all this? What's the big deal? Well, first, it helps keep these incredible cultural traditions alive, traditions that might otherwise just disappear. Second, it creates real sustainable jobs and opportunities for artisans and their communities. And third, it helps create a global marketplace that's a little more connected and a lot more ethical. And that's something that benefits every single one of us.
And that really brings it all back to you, doesn't it? The next time you're in a store and you see something that just speaks to you, just take a second. Ask yourself, what's the story here? Where did this come from? Because a lot of the time, the most beautiful part of that object isn't just what you see, it's the incredible journey it took to get to you.